Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Messy Hairspeed, and today we're going to be looking at 9 classes Pudge. I wanted to do a match analysis of this game because, I mean, let's be real, this was one of the most impressive performances I've seen in a while, and it was over the course of 2 games, so I'm not going to be covering both of the games, because both of them, honestly, both of them were worth covering. Like, I literally considered doing both of the games, but yeah, I mean, he made Pudge look like a very viable hero. And to be fair, Pudge's win rate across, like, all brackets is honestly fine. This hero absolutely is playable. And the main reason why is Hook is just a good spell. It's one of those spells where if you're hitting it, you're going to have a lot of impact. Obviously, that's the key. You do got to hit it. And I have no clue if your pre-muted 2k MMR teammate is going to hit any, but let's try to focus on what you can do on Pudge, especially outside of the hooks. In this video, you guys are going to learn about just kind of the intricacies of Pudge, the small things that really make a big difference in the game, the things that 9 class are doing that you definitely cannot see. On top of that, go sign up to the gameleap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. In the laning stage, honestly, the main thing you want to lane with Pudge is some sort of disable. I don't even think it's bad with melee heroes necessarily, although the 2 games Paravision played it. They played it with Enigma and Veno, so obviously they're kind of going for that melee range duo, which is pretty standard in Dota. However, I will say, as long as you have some sort of follow-up disable, that's what Pudge wants. He actually really wants a hero where when you hit a hook, they can come over and cast a spell. It could be really anything, just any sort of disable, slow, or a stun. It could be Avenge, you know, it could be even stuff like Centaur is really not bad. Heroes like Slardar can be playable. I think the game pairing between those heroes is not the best, but either way, in the laning stage, you want to look for hooks early and often. I would say the key thing that he does is he starts with, you know, a lot of stats. I don't really like the circlet, I'm not gonna lie. I just think it's a lot of gold for only 1 extra all stat. I personally would just go for a branch and an extra mango. I think it's better 3 branches, 2 mangoes. If it's a good stick lane, you can buy a stick, as he actually hooks the range creep there. That was a little surprising. Other than that, the main timing for Pudge, especially a Pudge Enigma lane, is level 2. They can hit a hook into Malefice, and that will frequently result in a kill. And so he's actually laning pretty normal. Nothing crazy is happening. Treant is not going to do much in the early levels to you. You can just kind of avoid him. As this was the craziest part of the lane to me. So really what's interesting is that he has Rotten Core. Now this seems like a core facet because it's when Rot is activated, you gain bonus attack damage. And it's a lot. It's 20% of your damage when activated for only 5 seconds, which is not that long. You know, you're going to get most of the bonus very quickly. And so it's pretty insane. You'll see as he goes on the Treant here, his damage really starts to tick up, and it's going to cap around, I think it was 93? Oh, I am totally lying. It's 96. And it's actually, I thought this was really funny when I was looking at it. He has more damage than Treant. And so if you hit a hook and have any sort of follow-up disable, which actually frequently can just be a blood grenade, you can actually get kills just because you're hitting so damn hard. And I think that's where he would justify the circlet, you know, max stats, max attack speed for the Rotten Core, because clearly he wants to all in. And you can see that his mentality is absolutely to all in for kills, so you get the max value out of Rotten Core, because in this clip here, as we skip ahead, nothing too crazy for a bit, he hits level 3, usually you skill Rot. However, I will say I am a big fan of Meat Shield level 3. It actually lets you go in and have 4 seconds where Rot is not damaging you, and that's really convenient. It's super strong, and so honestly, I think either skill build is totally acceptable. However, you get double the bonus damage. So he got what? I think it was 16 last time. He'll get 32 after 5 seconds. So going for an all-in play, unfortunately. Terrorblade, very strong hero in terms of base stats. Same thing for Treant, Leech Seed level 2. Was a little bit too much, but he was hitting for 100. So just a bit of a forced move there. A little bit too aggressive. But if you do find anyone isolated or hit a hook, you're going to be hitting for 100 plus, probably more around 100, 115 at this point of the game. So actually does TB the safe lane here, which you got to be careful about, guys. In your pubs, you have to know if you can leave your offlaner alone, right? It very much depends. So fortunately, the Enigma should be generally fine in this lane. Worst case, the Enigma can go jungle, which is actually what they'll be playing for. And he's just getting angles on the safe lane. So he died, he's full HP, little net after the hook. They pick up the kill. He's a little bit squishy because he has no points in the E, which again is kind of the downside of going this build. This is a very glass cannon Pudge build. You're going to do a billion damage, but die super quickly. For his next item, he bought a wand. He's buying some wards. He actually bought an extra mango, bought a salve. Then he bought boots, actually looking to rush phase boots. As we see in this fight here, just coming mid, nothing crazy. Opts to hook the puck, which was such a good decision. Because honestly, I would have been tempted to hook Muerta there. Absolutely. It's a much easier kill, right? You feel like Puck might get out, but no. He realizes that Puck's orb is on cooldown. He jaunted in. It's followed up by the SK stun, and they take him out. Now at level 4, a lot of people, guys, don't make this mistake. Do not skill hook at 4. It is so bad. Guys, meat shield value point, it is actually nerfed. It used to be way better at level 1, but let me tell you, it's still very good. It just blocks all of raw damage, or most of level 2 raw damage. And that's value. And we'll even see here, as he goes in on the Terrorblade, if he doesn't have his E, he's just going to kill himself here. You're going to notice with the rot on and the E active, it's not damaging him. It actually is blocking all of it. That's huge. It's 60 DPS, guys, right? 60. And so the only reason he's actually at a sustainable health level and can reliably man up the TB is the point in the E. And so do not skip it. Do not skip it at 4. I hate seeing 2-2-0 Pudge. It's such a grief, it's insane. Okay, so he ships out of Clarity, he's got his phase boots. Clearly his idea is max rot, get phase boots so you can stick on top of people, and right click. And let me tell you, with 3 points in the W, he's hitting for a bonus 60% of his damage, right? Which is, what is that, 55-ish? Something like that? As we'll see it here, clicks to E, right? Again, 160 damage. Oh my, it was actually 170 at the end of it. I mean, yeah, this hero hits hard as he looks for a hook here. Gets a little bit baited. His E was on cooldown, so he got silenced. Outplayed a little bit there. That's a nice play from Tofu. Picks up a blood grenade, and you want to spam blood grenades on this hero, especially pre-dismember. It's really what's going to allow you to stick on top of people and finish off kills. So get in the habit of buying blood grenades. They are very overpowered. And just to really emphasize how good the point in E is, in this clip here, he's absolutely going to explode if he doesn't have a point in E, because especially against heroes like Treant that do a lot of tick damage, even something like Puck where there's quite a bit of instances of damage, I mean, not that many for Puck, but more so for Treant, you're just going to explode. On top of that, your rot will just kill you. And so yeah, he walks it off with a pretty comfortable 300 HP, looking for a hook on Muerta, doesn't find it. And now it's a little weird to heal, I will admit. That's kind of the problem with like not going tranquils on some hero like this. However, the armor is obviously great. Hooks a cart, always a nice value play, good for defending towers. Didn't make the difference there, but it's fine. After that, he's going to queue up Glimmer, and this is where the game gets a little bit weird. He's just kind of playing his ward. He's got this really nice hill ward here, so he's just kind of camping it. Unfortunately, I think he got scouted, so maybe he'll get dewarded now. Oh no, he was on a ward, I see, okay. And at this point, yeah, the game really does slow down. I will admit, I'm not a huge fan of actually skilling rot to max. I do feel that it is actually better to take the next point in meat shield, as level 1 meat shield does not even come close to blocking max rot damage. So he's playing a heavy glass cannon sort of build. Again, this seems to be his concept, just like really, really pump damage. But I will say as well, guys, if you put a second point in E, it actually allows you to farm neutral camps. And you might be like, really, Speed? You're telling us to farm on Pudge? Yes, and you will see that this is a major theme of his gameplay. The first thing he's doing is actually sitting behind Drow. I actually like this. He's, protecting the Drow from potential smoke ganks. The most common gank around minute 10 to 12 when the enemy is taking the safe lane tower is actually frequently the carry again. And so he's looking for an angle, doesn't find it. Drow hits up some slows, tries to get an angle to hook him under the tower, and funny enough, somehow they still get caught by it. He makes the decision to click his E during the dismember, which you can do, just again saving some health. Also, he gets silenced, so it allows him to kind of push forward. And yeah, they get a kill on Centaur, which is huge. Obviously, he's going to end up going down, but they're able to finish off a much better kill in the Centaur, so great positioning from 9 class there. For his next item, he picks up a cloak. He's going to be buying Glimmer, and I love the Glimmer. It really allows you to use Rot. In particular, you can use Rot on neutral camps with Glimmer to save a lot of health. You have that option. But primarily, I think his concept is just to be a frontliner. He wants to be able to, frontline in fights. Again, using this tree line in the safe lane is pretty funny. He's not forcing plays. Notice, he's not like, his team is losing the game by a little bit. They've lost, their mid tier 1 and their safe lane tier 1. So the game is like a little stale. So he's just farming it up, pushes in the wave. Onto this neutral camp. He took the regen neutral item, right? He's got the Polywog Charm. And he's actually farming backwards, and this is something that you can do, right? If the game is going well and you're just killing people off cooldown, obviously you just keep doing that. That's totally fine. But very frequently, oh, he's fishing. I was gonna say, I feel like he could have maybe thrown it there. There was a small gap, I think. But yeah, you farm really, really fast. This hero is also played as a carry, so it's not that shocking with a bit of levels that you can farm neutral camps. And so he actually gets allowed to farm the top side of the map. He hits a hook on Terrorblade, followed up by Dismember, into the chain stun, and that's a kill. That's a kill. A lot of damage. But yeah, I do want to emphasize that he's super been playing his own side of the map, defending his carry under the tier 2, contesting runes, and actually farming for himself. With the game state being a bit even, he's not just like running into the enemy jungle, constantly looking for kills. This is what bad pause 4 players do. They just overforce, putting their cores in very dangerous positions, or themselves, you know, and it's just not worth it. But yeah, we're going to see a nice fight here. This hero does have some mana problems, which is why I think it can be worth to buy Raindrops, just for a little bit more frontline, a little bit more mana, as he's, you know, pretty consistently popping Clarities, which is going to get canceled. This hook was to try to save Enigma. Unfortunately, it did not connect, so he walks up to the Muerta, and look at this damage. Unfortunately, there's a Crimson Guard, but he is hitting, after a bit of time, he's hitting for 220. That is goofy. That is a goofy number. I actually can't believe no one's playing this hero as a core. I feel like it can't be that bad. It's probably good, or at least solid. But yeah, huge team fight. All inning for the Terrorblade, unfortunately goes down, overcommits a little bit. So in this game, he actually buys an Ag's next item, which he didn't buy in the following game. The following game, he went for a Blink Dagger Aether Lens kind of angle. It depends on how good your game is. I would say if you have, you know, 5 kills and 8 assists, you're gonna be high net worth. And it makes sense to, you know, I mean, he even changed his mind. He was gonna consider going Blink, but he does end up going for Ags by the end of this. I would only go for Ags if you're playing, you know, first of all, you need Glimmer before Ags. The Ags will just kill you. And then once you buy the Ags, it's good when you're having a good game. I wouldn't play it from behind. From behind, things like Aether and Blink Dagger, just like the standard play around hook, hit good hooks, find good positioning, you know, put the enemy out of position is just a lot better. As he's trying to scout the hill. And yeah, he does a lot of farming. To keep it real, I mean, he puts 2 points in his E, now he's going to max out hook. 2 points E with a cloak is enough to block max rot, so going for this sort of angle. As at this point he's fishing, but again, clearly they're just comfortable with scaling. They got some like really cheese late game Naga Enigma type of stuff. They got a Drow who scales well into Terrorblade, so they probably don't mind the game just kind of delaying or dragging out, just taking good mid-game fights. It's going to be their angle, as the meat hook almost hitting the puck there. Cutting out a little bit. This is funny. I can't believe they walked onto that ward there. Just finding a nice angle. Now, something I thought was really funny is that once he has the Ags, you can really continue to scale. And that's kind of the nice thing about going for this build. He does TP bottom here, really nice play. I mean, I guess the Rot just canceled the puck. It was actually a little surprising. Yeah, he just continues to scale. By the way, in terms of talents, he took armor at 10 and meat hook at 15. It's a lot of damage. It's pure 150, which is super high. But after that, a little engagement, he actually stacks the jungle, farms up the large stack with his E, and then farms the ancients with his ult. So bro is really playing to scale, you know, super playing for his timings. Then he's going to take the wisdom, looks for a quick little cheeky kill on the treant, who he thought would try to snipe the wisdom. Doesn't see it happening, so he TP's mid. Gets an illusion rune. By the way, guys, when you hook runes, you get your mana back. So it's generally fine to just hook runes. And at this point, he's just hitting hooks. And you do 1 billion damage if you're able to scale into the game. Now, I will admit, guys, again, I think going for like an all-in Glimmer Ags build is again, something you do when the game is going well. Like when specifically your game is going well. And he also has his shard, which I totally forgot they changed it, but it's when meat hook hits an enemy, it deals bonus damage based on the distance pulled. So this is the old facet where you would do extra damage the further the hook. Like if you hit a max range hook, it just insta-kills people. And so, yeah, I mean, it makes sense to buy Glimmer. You know, I don't think you want to buy the shard necessarily. If it was the old save, I think it would make a lot more sense. That was really OP. Extra damage, I mean, it's not bad. You know, you can definitely play around fishing for hooks with something like Glimmer Aether, just play the backline. And yeah, in this game, he's queuing up a Shiva's Guard, which is just like so, I don't know, that's like so insane. He's even like on the front line, gets jumped, but reacts to the Centaur Stomp with his E, gets nullified, but nullifier actually does not, it cannot dispel Meat Shield. Meat Shield is undispellable, so he's actually just fine, getting gone on pretty hard, but eats most of it. Nice hook onto the Muerta, and does end up going down. but it sets up for a huge epicenter. Oh, what in the... Oh, man. I mean, yeah, he baited that. He absolutely baited that. Enemy team all clumps up on some giga tanky support Pudge. Crimson Guard came out, but unfortunately they had a nullifier. They all dropped, well, 2 of them dropped pretty low from the attempt on Pudge, and the Sand King's able to just get some like mega free angle on the backline. He didn't even hit the stun, it just... What in the... I guess that's the axe. Oh my lord. Oh, it was Final Stain. Wow, I actually haven't seen this. A caustic finale explosion is created around every enemy hero hit in Stinger's innermost radius. So I guess he probably got 2 heroes? He got 2 heroes and it shot out 2 Stingers. Wow, okay. I haven't seen this facet in action. That is crazy. But alright, that's going to be all for today's video. They wrap up the game pretty shortly here. And yeah, I just want to say Pudge is a pretty viable hero. What I'd say is you don't have to force moves in the mid game all the time. Obviously, early game, it's a really good idea. This hero has one of the better early games. Honestly, Hook is just a very high damage spell, very effective spell. So yeah, you want to try to pair it with kill heroes in the laning stage. Anything with like a follow-up disable. Can be Venge, Enigma, stuff like that. And then in terms of items, yeah, I really like this Glimmer Axe. I think it scales well into the game. It also just allows you to continue to farm. Now, if your team doesn't need you to scale, you don't need to farm, then you don't have to force this sort of build. You absolutely can just kind of play some more of a standard utility build. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed watching this game, and I'll see you in the next one.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace!